Hi and welcome. It's Jim from maverickstar Observatory. Very good afternoon to you. Well, let's try and move on and not talk about some of the negative things that have been happening recently with the observatory and the channel. I'm hoping now that we've got everything out in the open. Yesterday in the video you saw my credentials. I'm a scientist. You saw the equipment. We're an observatory. And hopefully now we can move on to more important things like following the progression of the magnetic North Pole. I've added in the left hand column there the record going back 5 million years for you, so that you can see just how long ago it was our last reversal was, completed reversal, 780,000 years ago. And apart from some excursions, one most recently happened 12,000 years ago, just when we was coming out the last glacial period. You can see that on average we had a magnetic reversal every 350,000 or thereabout years. So why has it taken an extra 500,000 years for it to go through a reversal? But if we just set that on the side, the most important thing is that this reversal, as you can see right in front of you now, is taking place. And it's now, guys. It's not happening in a few weeks. It's been happening for the last 100 years. And the speed of its progression across the northern hemisphere has been increasing, and more so since the 1990s and then into the 2000s. It has increased, covering more distance over less time. So we know from what we've researched so far and from the data that we've collected that there are implications for human beings. We know what those implications are, and we know that this is not a time for us all to be separated in our different opinions and viewpoints, because we have to agree on some common grounds. I'm hoping also that you'll agree on me. We have to accept the fact that we are going for a magnetic reversal. It will reduce the magnetosphere strength, and in turn that will produce more inbound cosmic rays into our upper atmosphere, and therefore modifying the jet streams and our climate on our planet. And on top of this, we're also going back into a glacial period. We're already, I know this is going to come as a bit of a surprise to some people, we're already in that glacial period by around 6,000 to 8,000 years. But we need to sort ourselves out. People are behaving crazy right now. They're going about their business as though this is not happening. And I don't want to, spread alarmism about it, but I definitely want to bring people's attention to about it, because it is changing, government policies, and in a lot of respects, you guys know what these policies are. A lot of these policies are coming from the United Nations, and we know what they think we should all be thinking about in the future, like you won't own anything and you'll be happy. You won't own a farm. You won't eat meat. You won't own a car. And if you do, you'll pay extra to use it. We're seeing the congestion charges, the clean air zones, and it's just stealth taxes. We know that global warming is not caused by CO2, but they are creating new industries and destroying industries which have been around for a long, long time. And when you have the technological advancement that we have had over the last, or progression that we've had over the last 150 years, it's reducing jobs every single time. Your high streets have changed just as well as I do. You used to have butchers' shops, you used to have the fishmongers, you used to have the grocers, you used to have your dairy produce and other delicatessens and things like that. Now you've got supermarkets, and trust me, they're going as well, because you're just going to get a van pull up outside your house in the not too distant future. I'm talking the next few years, and a lot of you are already using that service right now. The home delivery and order online service, and that will put more jobs out for people. in a time where, we've got 8 billion souls on this planet. 8 billion souls, and we're all expected to participate in the monetary system. But the problem is that you need a job in order to do that, or you need to claim benefits, or the only other way you can obtain money is steal it. So, the system is not going to work, is it, unless there are dramatic changes, and those changes aren't happening because people are not working together. A lot of the reasons why people know about such things as the magnetic pole reversal is because our observatory informed them of that. Because a lot of people right now would be in the dark, and we are nowhere near finished in the role of informing people, and we're up against everything, guys. And it is now more than ever that we need support. And we need financial support, but we also need other types of support. And we need to start putting these practical solutions and applications into place, because if we don't start to make the changes now, things are not going to improve on their own. And I think you know that. I think you're angry enough at the way things are right now. We have seen good arable agricultural land go offline because of the changes of the climate, which reduces the food production of the world. And that is going to drive up prices at your local shopping centres where you buy your groceries from. So things need to be done. They needed to be done months ago, years ago, but now you're starting to see the impact of some of these policies now that are changing your lives, and they're not changing it, I think you'll agree, for the better. And now is the time to come together and work together and resolve these issues, because it will be like, the drug addict. If he never takes the steps to help himself, he's never going to come off those drugs. And we've got a very ill global population right now that is pacified in the fact that they are not concerned enough to act. I have given solid evidence of how much CO2 is not changing our climate. Solid evidence. It would be impossible for CO2 to have any impact on our environment. And you can go back and have a look at the videos where I talk about this. I've also showed you the glacial record, the interglacial and the glacial records. You can see where we are. And I've also showed you the geomagnetic pole migration. Now we're doing it twice a month. You can see this isn't stationary. It isn't fixed. It is migrating over the northern hemisphere as we speak right now. Every single day. Every hour of every single day it is migrating. Guys, we need to take action on these things. And you know what I'm up against. And I need help. Simple as that. I need your help and support to do this. Because no one is going to get anywhere in the future if they are going out for themselves. And this, unfortunately, I don't want to remind you, but it's going to require your effort to do it. Because doing nothing is not a solution to putting these issues right. We can't change the fact that the poles are going to migrate, but we can definitely do something about these policies that the United Nations, this new world order, self-elected, nobody's voted for, non-diplomat, there's nothing diplomat about the United Nations or the European Union. But we need to do something about it, because they are destroying people's lives. They may not have destroyed your life yet or had any effect on your life yet, but trust me, it's only a matter of time before they do. What these organisations did was drove up energy prices recently globally. There was no coincidence that everywhere around the world started to experience high energy costs. It was because they want to reduce CO2 emissions to almost zero by a ridiculous time. And they've been at this for a long time already, and they haven't achieved it. And trust me, there is less time now for them to act than there was if we look back when they very first started to do something about this. But regardless, I mean, can you imagine if you was a farmer in the Netherlands or one of those other European countries that have been told you've got to close your farm, and you'd own that farm and your family and relatives had owned that farm down the historic routes, for hundreds of years, and you right now have been told to close it. So you are the end line of that family tradition that went back decades. Could you imagine how that would feel for you right now? Because that is how, thousands of farmers in Europe are feeling right now. They have no choice. This is a mandatory decision to do this and close them farms. And we know that they are attacking, the human race eating meat products, something that the human beings have done naturally for tens of thousands of years. And now all of a sudden, in a couple of years, they want to abolish that behaviour. Things are changing and nobody is working together. And if there are just a few, the numbers are too small. We haven't reached 98% of the population, and they are completely unaware of the things that I'm talking to you about right now. And they need to know. And they need to know about the other issues that we cover. Tomorrow I'll do an Earth Health at a glance update for you, where we'll take out all that equipment and we'll make the recordings of the data that we collect and we'll relay it back to you guys. If you go over to poleshiftnews.com, it's got the majority of the anomalies that are taking place, like earthquakes, volcanic activity. We update it regularly with global magnetometer data and our TriMag data, as well as a lot of things on there. You can have a look at Schumann frequency as well. You've got solar data, space weather data. There's a lot of stuff there. We've tried to make it an informal one-stop shop for everybody, so that you can, if you're concerned about one of these anomalies or one of these anomalies are affecting you, you can get information on that anomaly. But more importantly, us at this observatory. Why I'm popular on YouTube, or probably the most popular person that talks about the magnetic poles, is because we are dedicated to geomagnetics on this channel, and we have been and I know some of you have followed me for a long time, a good over a decade now. We've been here, we've gone through a lot of hard times, we've had to put up with a lot of rubbish, but our determination has never weakened, despite some very cruel individuals like this one the other day, who has now removed that video that he put up on me, and he's decided to have now a pop at Thai people. He seems to think that all Thai people are ladyboys and hookers. His mentality is completely off the charts. I was on Suspicious Observer's YouTube channel yesterday while he was doing a live broadcast, and I found it a coincidence that just as soon as I popped up in his comment section, he wrapped up that show. But all I will say is, take a look at these people that are talking about this topic. Ask yourself the question, are they qualified, first of all, to talk about it? And is that important to you in any case? I mean, do you want the butcher to fix your combustion engine on your car when it breaks? Do you want to take your laptop into the butcher's to get it fixed? That's the same scenario here. These people are just regurgitating what they can find online. They're not collecting data themselves with their own equipment, and like I say, they're not even qualified in the first place to talk about these subjects. It's like, going to the butcher to have a gallstone removed. It's ridiculous. We need to get a grip. Guys, I'm always trying to get you to understand where I'm coming from, and help and try and help you realise that by doing nothing changes nothing. People have ridiculed me for having that link down there, to ask for support for this channel. But now, more than ever, should be a time where we are all coming together and the support is there. You know, people are making, you know, a donation, but we're seeing completely the opposite. You know, we're seeing less donations now than we have done for nearly 2 years. And we need to get a grip, and we need to start working together. And, you know, it's not a bad thing to support channels like ours on YouTube and our observatory, because I want to ask you a question. Have you been more informed by anyone else on this topic than myself and the collective efforts of a few other people on this channel? I'll try not to keep the video too long. I will mention that there is a link down there in the description. We're not begging for money here. We do provide a service. I hope that people see that. And, you know, it does require, you know, now and then a few people chipping in a few bucks. And to the majority of the people around the world, you know, that aren't even on a couple of dollars a day, they get access to this information free of charge. So, you know, I know it requires an effort. It means you've got to get, you know, your debit card out, your wallet, and you've got to make that effort to spend a couple of minutes putting the information in on that link. But, you know, your donation is getting spread round the whole of this world, and it is informing people all around this world. So, you know, I'll say what I usually do at this point. There's a link down there. Big thanks to those people over the last couple of days. There has only been 2 or 3 people that have chipped in a few quid, but, you know, big thanks to them and the people that support us in other countries with having equipment. And, you know, the only other thing to say is what I usually do, and that is take care of your loved ones, as always. Bye for now.